Alright, I think we are recording now. This is the classroom vocab stuff. So we talked about a lot of stuff in class, really. There's a lot of words on here. So number 1 through number 30, I'll enter down 1 here. These are all like nouns and masculine, feminine, all that kind of stuff, because ultimately what we're going to talk about is how to say the something versus a something. So I'm going to go through and say all of them once so that you can see that first, and then we'll go back and tell what everything means and talk about 31 through 34 as a chunk, and then 35 through 40 as a chunk, because they are a little different. They're not nouns. So you have l'étudiant, l'étudiante, le prof, la prof, le professeur, l'école, le collège, le lycée, la salle de classe, le tableau, la porte, la fenêtre, le bureau, la table, la chaise, la fiche, l'examen, le sac à dos, le dictionnaire, le livre, le cahier, le stylo, le crayon, la gomme, le marqueur, la feuille de papier, l'ordinateur, la graffeuse, la calculatrice, la boîte. Voici, voilà, il y a, il n'y a pas, sur, dans, devant, derrière, à côté de. So back over here, 1 and 2 do mean the same thing. They are both student. And this one, because it does not have an E on the end, you don't pronounce that T. But here, because you add the E to make it feminine, you do have to pronounce the T. So you have l'étudiant here and l'étudiante, male student and female student. You don't have to actually write boy or girl. You just put l'étudiant if you were talking about a guy, and l'étudiante if you're talking about a girl. We have also talked about 3 and 4. You've had these before. You have le prof, which is your male teacher, and la prof, which is your female teacher. I have mentioned number 5 with le professeur, but we haven't talked about it a ton. This one, even though I am a female, I am le professeur, because there is not a feminine form of the long word for teacher or for professor. And what I told everybody is basically number 3 and number 4 are like informal. If you're talking about your teachers to someone, you would use le or la prof. But if you were talking to your teacher, you would use le professeur as a like, form of respect, showing that, you know, formal versus informal divide. Number 6 is l'école, which is school in general. Like if you wanted to say we go to school Monday through Friday, you would use école for that. But if you were being very specific on where you go to school, number 7 is not college. It is le collège, which means middle school for us. And then number 8, le lycée, would be high school. I know that Word Reference puts high school here, and I forgot exactly how it is worded and why it is worded that way. But basically, collège and lycée are both part of the secondary education system. And in the U.S., when we think of secondary ed, we think of high school. But le collège does refer to middle school, which is 6th, 7th, and 8th grades in France. And then lycée is 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So that would be our high school. All right, number 9, la salle de classe is classroom. Le tableau, I have shown you before, that is board, like a marker board or a chalkboard. Both of them have the same word. 11 is la porte, which is door. La fenêtre is window. Le bureau is desk. It can mean office, but we are not using it that way yet. 14, la table is table. La chaise is chair. La fiche is poster. L'examen is test or exam. Some people put examination, and that's fine. It's a longer word. I usually use the word test. 18, le sac à dos is backpack. 19, le dictionnaire is dictionary. Le livre, number 20. Number 20, le livre is book. Le cahier is notebook. Le stylo, pen, like I'm writing with a pen. 23, le crayon is pencil. It is not a crayon, even though it looks like it. 24, la gomme is an eraser. Le marqueur is a marker. La feuille de papier is a piece of paper, like loose leaf, one sheet of paper. L'ordinateur is a computer. La graffeuse is a stapler. La calculatrice is a calculator. And la boîte literally means box, but it's referring to like trays. So in our class, we have trays that you turn in your work for, or trays where you get your lanyard sheets and that kind of thing. That's what it's referring to. They don't have a specific other word that they would use. They would use boîte. All right, so those are all of your nouns. 31, 32, 33, 34. These are very similar. So this one, you probably put here is, but it can also mean, all right, hang on. Let me get this where you can see all of it at one time. All right. Here we go. All right, so here is, or here are. Voila was there is, or there are. I'll give you a little more info in just a second. Il y a also is a there is or there are, but again, just bear with me for just a second. And then il n'y a pas is there is not, or there are not. So all of these are both singular and plural, which is kind of weird based on what we've been doing in French so far. So what you need to understand with these is that 32 and 33 are referring to a location description, whereas 34 and 35 are more general terms. They are generic, more generic. So how you use these is if you wanted to say, here is a marker beside me, you would say, voici un marqueur. Here is a marker. Or if you have more than one marker, you would say, voici over here. Here are my markers. Same thing if you wanted to say, voila, over there, there is a door, versus voila, over there are some books. The way you can kind of remember this is if you can kind of point to something and say, over here is something, or over there is something, you're going to use voici or voila. Versus 34, il y a would be more like there are books in the classroom. They're not necessarily over here or over there. They're just spread throughout the classroom on different bookshelves, on different tables. There are students at school. Just a generic statement that people exist at the school at one time. Not necessarily that they're over there at the football field or over here at the library. So on your test, when it comes test time, your kind of key word that you will be looking for is this over phrase. I will try to put over here is a pencil when I want you to use voici, or over there is a door when I want you to use voila, versus there are books on the bookshelf, then you will use il y a because you don't see the word over in your translations. We will be using this soon, writing sentences and trying to like make a classroom and that kind of thing. So you will be able to use it in practice and it'll make a little more sense. But your key word that you're looking for is that word over, to tell you that it's a specific location. Excuse me, instead of a general statement. All right, so these are prepositions telling you where things are. So you have sur, sous, dans, devant, derrière, and à côté de. Sur means on or on top of. Sous is under. Dans is in or inside. Devant is in front of, derrière is behind, and à côté de is next to or beside. And this would be like the book is on top of the table. The pencil is beside the notebook. You have to be able to tell where things are in a classroom using your prepositions. So that's what those are. You will have a test where you have to tell, and this is what will be another video and another day in class, instead of the student or the teacher or the backpack, you'll have to say a student and a teacher and a backpack. That will be a very big deal. So on this test, when we start doing this, you must translate la and L' and le as the, because I'm going to be testing you on, do you know the difference between the and a? So it is very, very, very important that not only in English, but in French, you know, is it le, la, le, which means the, or is it, masculine, is it feminine? Because you can't do a if you don't know if it's masculine or feminine. And like I said, that's coming up in another video and in another class period. So if you have questions about what the vocabulary words are, or how to use voici and voila versus il y a, that is this video. Let me know. Prepositions are also here. Everything else will be in a separate video. Okay, see you later.